just give me one rib and pour the soda in my hand. He might as well have just been saying that. What's going on, Blerd Squad? We are back with another episode of Blerd Up Reviews, where we review the latest and greatest in movie, TV, and gaming. Of course, we are your hosts. I'm Killicam.
And I'm Monique.
And today we are finally reviewing Spiral from the Book of Saw, starring Chris Rock and our TV movie uncle, Samuel L. Jackson. So yeah, this came out in the movie theaters. I didn't go to the movie theater and see it, but I was just playing on Amazon and I saw it pop up. I was like, oh, it's released digitally. I'm gonna watch this. And then I called you. I was like, get it. We're gonna watch it so we can watch it and review it so we can get it out and see what's going on here. And it was a worthy movie, I guess I'll say. It was worth the watch, but I'm excited to kind of jump into this review and break down with you. We talked about it a little bit, but we didn't talk about it a lot, and I'm just curious to hear your thoughts as well. So before we do that, thank you to everyone who has been liking and subscribing to our channel, because your likes, your views, your shares, your engagement, all of that helps us grow. It helps us get our videos out to a larger audience. So thank you for your support. And of course, if you are new, just stumbling across our channel, please make sure you do hit us with a like. And if you'd like to stay up to date with our reviews and reactions, please make sure you hit the subscribe button. Therefore, you too can stay up to date with our content.
Yep.
Now, I am going to shout spoilers, spoilers, spoilers. This will be a spoiler laden review, because there's just no way for us to review this one without doing spoilers.
Yeah.
All right.
Talk about this.
All right, so 3, 2, 1. Mo, you want to give us a synopsis?
Yeah. So, for those of you who did not watch our trailer reaction, no, I'm just kidding. Sorry, I just need to say something while I pull up the IMDb. A criminal mastermind unleashes a twisted form of justice in Spiral, the terrifying new chapter from the Book of Saw. So basically, this is a not a remake. Well,
It's like a spinoff.
A spinoff, yeah. It's not a remake. It's not a continuation of Saw, but it is a spinoff of Saw. In this movie, we know the main killer, played by Tobin Bell, is died, and they haven't heard from him in a while. They haven't heard from his disciples in a while, and all of a sudden, somebody new pops up and starts killing police officers in that good old-fashioned Jigsaw way. So
kind of.
And so Chris Rock is is set out, basically put on the case to find out who's setting up all these jigsaw puzzles and killing cops.
Yeah. And I guess we should just do it like this: pros, cons, MVP, Blerdometer. You think?
Yeah.
Pros for this movie. I like the Saw franchise. Like the first 3 movies I was good with. After that, it got a little bit ridiculous, but hell, at one point they were coming out on Halloween every year. So it was like tradition for me to watch them on Halloween. So we got up to Saw 7 and I was like, thank Jesus it's over. And then Jigsaw came out and I was like, okay. And I watched that and I was like, yeah. And then this comes out and I was excited to see this, just to know that it was being relaunched because of Chris Rock's love for the series. I was like, okay, we're gonna see some interesting stuff here, and I think we did get some interesting stuff. I think the premise of it being trying to fix a system rather than people, I thought that was very interesting. I feel like they did touch on that in Saw 6 with the insurance company. Now this one was taking on the police justice system, I guess you'll call it.
Yes.
Outside of that, y'all, I'm gonna be honest. This was a really hard watch for me for a few reasons. Don't get me wrong, I like the expansion of the story. I do like the fact that it was a spinoff, but I also think the fact that it was a spinoff and it was kind of a different tone and a mood from the original franchise is what made me hesitate getting into it. Like I couldn't get that feeling I'm used to feeling when I watched it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah. I'm actually kind of right there with you with the pros. I like that instead of taking on, one individual and trying to make them see their error in their ways.
Mhm.
It was a whole police force that the killer in this movie was taking on. I like how they, kind of set some of the real world events that happen now and kind of try to apply them towards this whole movie and taking on the whole police force and seeing the faults that some of the police forces currently have today. um I liked Samuel L. Jackson in this, as I always do. He's
Yeah.
always an A++ actor that I enjoy seeing on the screen every time and any chance that I get. There was a line in this movie that made me chuckle. So it was like the best part in the movie,
Yeah.
to be honest with you. That made me chuckle so hard, and it was from Samuel L. Jackson when he's like, "Oh, you want to play games?" So I really enjoyed Samuel L. as always. But like
Mhm.
you, I didn't have much that and if you guys watch the trailer reaction for Spiral, that's on our channel now. If you haven't, go check it out. You'll know that I stopped at a certain point with the Saw movies.
Mhm.
I've seen bits and pieces of the ones that I haven't fully seen, but for this Saw movie, I from the bits and pieces that I've seen, I'm right there with you. I
Mhm.
felt like this had a totally different, which is what I think they meant to do,
Yeah.
but it didn't just turn out in a good way for me. Like it
Yeah.
had a totally different just kind of feel
Mhm.
to it than the regular Saw movies. And
You know,
I yeah,
what I
but
think it was? The
what
lack of Jigsaw. There was a lack of connection to Jigsaw as a character for me.
I agree. Yeah, I guess I can agree with that because after the film ended, and there's an abrupt ending in this
Mhm.
in this film, you guys. And I was kind of mad when it happened because I felt like I didn't know enough about the killer in
Mhm.
this movie to be satisfied with what everything that happened in the movie.
Yeah.
I felt with the previous Saw movies, at least the ones that I've seen, you get that big reveal at the end of, dun 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 dun
Mhm.
dun dun. People start pulling off masks, and you see flashbacks of people like injecting people and stuff like that.
Mhm.
And I felt more so in those Saw films. I was like, yo, like he was on the floor the whole time.
Yeah.
What the but in this one, I was like, I figured out who the killer was
Yeah.
pretty early in the movie. And again, this is spoiler talk. So again, I'm gonna warn y'all one more time. Spoilers, I'm about to tell y'all who the killer is.
Right.
Basically it's Chris Rock's new partner, who in the movie is played by, what is his name?
Max
Max
Minghella.
Minghella.
Uh-huh.
Yes. But he's basically the killer in this movie. And I felt like like he was asking too many damn questions, first
Yeah.
of all. Saying things like, I was like, why would he say that?
Yeah.
Like, and when he said them, I was like, yo, this dude is the killer. Like, why do you need my phone? Like,
Yeah.
don't, nah, I'm not giving you my phone. That's weird.
Yeah.
So there was these things that I saw in the movie where I was like, boom, he's a
Yeah.
killer. And
And
I was like, let me find out why. Let me continue watch to find
yeah.
out why he's the killer. And they gave us a reason for it, but I felt like it was like, boom, he's the killer, and this is what happened. End.
Yeah.
And I was like, wait, what the
Right.
fuck?
Hey, you know what? And we're really jumping into the cons here right now. I think that was the part that was one of the things. It was almost like it was too easy to figure it out. Like
Hmm.
literally, as the new guy on the squad, I was like, "It's you." And
Right.
then the
Yeah.
part where Chris Rock is talking to him on the phone and the baby's crying in the background, I'm like, that's a recording. It's you for
Hmm.
real. And I don't know if it's because I've watched the franchise enough to know to pick up on these things, but it just felt way easy,
Yeah.
you
I agree
know?
with you. And I don't think it's because you watch, because again, I have not watched all the movies in the Saw franchise, and I figured it out like at the very beginning. Like
Uh-huh.
when they both went back, he was like, "Hey, Chris Rock, this is your new partner." And they went to sit back at his desk, and he was saying some of the things he was saying. I was like, dude's the killer. Like, am I tripping?
Yeah.
Like
And it
it's
was
like
almost like you were
15
hoping
minutes
he
in the movie.
wasn't, right?
Yeah,
But
yeah.
the other part where they showed his potential, like his death, where
Hmm.
he was skinned, I was like, if that was him, they would have showed the
Showed
damn
it.
trap.
They would have. They would have.
So it was
Um,
like, Yeah, shame
Yeah.
on y'all because I was hoping I was wrong. I hope they pulled something out of their ass where I was just like, "Oh shit," but
Yeah.
it wasn't. I didn't
Yeah.
get that, you
You
know.
were expecting the big reveal at the end, dun, 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 and it kind of did that at the end. It got the music all up hype, and I was like,
Yeah.
"Yo, this is about when I'm about to figure out like what's all going on." It was like, "No!" Fade to
Yeah.
black, and I'm like, "What the fuck? That's not enough. Like, what's going
Yeah.
on?"
So there was that. There was also that I was really disappointed in Chris Rock's acting. And this
Yes.
was too and here's the thing, I thought he might actually pull this off because he's been in movies before to where he's not so damn animated. You know what I
Mm,
mean? He's done like some movies that are like comedic but are like serious tone, and there's a little bit of comedy in it. He was New Jack City, that was some superb acting in my opinion.
mm.
Well, not superb, but it was believable, you know what I mean? In this, his little tantrums he would go off on.
Yeah.
All I want is one rib, and you telling me it's $2. Just give me one rib and pour the soda in my hand. He might as well have just been saying that
You know,
because I was laughing.
actually, I think he did a better acting in that, and I'm gonna get you, sucker, than he did in this movie. Like, I'm serious. And I was talking about with you before we started. Like, I knew there was a reason
Uh-huh.
why I didn't watch. I stopped watching Chris Rock movies where he was the lead in it, and I couldn't figure out before I started this movie. I couldn't figure out why, and I was like, why
Hmm.
did I stop watching? Like, Chris Rock, I love, dude's good dude. Like, I
Yeah.
should watch his movies. And then I turned this on and I was like, shit, there it go. I was like, I that is exactly why I stopped watching Chris Rock movies when he was in the
Yeah.
lead. I felt like he did a way better, like the best acting he did in this movie. And I'm so sorry. I feel so bad like talking
Yeah.
about him in this way, but I felt like the best acting he did in this movie was his little Pookie routine that he did when he was like
Hmm.
trying to buy drugs and he was like all
Hmm.
over the place. And I was like, yo, Pookie, like I felt like that was the best he did in this
Yeah.
whole movie. And I was like, ah, man, like, oh,
And that's exactly what it is. It's disappointing because I feel in my heart of hearts he could have did it. I think
yeah,
this was a poor choice of how he played this character.
yeah,
Like maybe
yeah.
there should have been some extra studying to
But him being the Saw fan and getting this movie off the
Yeah.
ground, I'm still glad that he did it,
Oh,
and I
absolutely.
understand why he wanted to be the lead in it because of his love of Saw. But I just, yeah, I'm right there with you. I felt like
Yeah.
he could have done better, and I'm not sure if it was. I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah.
I he could have done better. I'm sorry.
Yeah. The other thing I really did not like about this movie was the traps. And I think this kind of goes back to the lack of association with Jigsaw.
Hmm.
Basically, dude was a copycat.
Hmm.
There was no affiliation with the Jigsaw clan or anything else. The traps, the first trap, the tongue trap, I was like, okay, it's a good intro trap. The second trap, the finger trap, I was like, okay, the wax trap, I was like, this is lazy.
Yeah.
Like this is kind of like whatever. And then the glass trap, I actually didn't mind that much. I thought it was kind of like in the vein of part 6, where there's a lever and you have to sacrifice a part of your body to take some sort of damage to save somebody else. I didn't
Yeah.
mind that one as much. I thought it was cool, but it wasn't Jigsaw caliber in my head. And then the puppeteer trap at the end, I was really disappointed with that. I was like,
Yeah.
like what? So he got I mean, I get it. I get the statement they were making. I 100% get it, but it was like it was just not with the Gaga. There was no extravagance or panache with it. I was like,
Yeah.
I was expecting, when you think about the deadliest traps in Saw, none of these in these movies make that list. I'm sorry.
I agree with you. And just being on the trap still, I felt like the traps kind of like were the traps in previous movies. I think one of the disciples of Jigsaw was making traps that people couldn't escape
Yeah,
from.
Amanda.
Amanda, okay, I couldn't remember who it was, but I felt like those traps in Spiral were exactly the same. Like I felt like they happened too fast
Hmm.
where And maybe that was his point. I don't know. And that's why I'm just
No.
really one of the things I'm still confused about. But like for instance, the finger trap, dude was tearing off his fingers. He
Yeah.
was doing what needed to be done, but he still got electrocuted. So I'm like, how is this supposed to work? Like
Well,
how
for that one, because it was time based. Instead of a countdown, it was just basically the water
but
rising to the copper.
right.
But the thing was his trap was almost, he was at the mercy of how fast the machine was going to rip his fingers
Yeah,
off.
that's what I'm saying. Like,
Yeah.
so were these traps set up? The trap where the wax, the wax dripped down on the chief's face.
Yeah.
Like, as soon as the thing stopped playing to tell her what she had to do, I felt like 5 seconds later, came the wax, and I
Yeah.
was like, it takes time to get that, to
And that's not an even trade-off either.
yeah,
That wasn't like a how do I want to say it? It wasn't an acceptable trade-off. I'm like you. I don't think now that you said, they were not meant to get out of these
yeah,
traps.
yeah.
You
And
know.
I was like, and maybe again, that's something they were trying to different than the Saw and the Jigsaw movie, but I'm just like, if you're gonna say this is a
A
spin-off from
Saw movie.
Saw,
Yeah.
like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe again, that was their intention. I just didn't like it.
And I feel like it was the deviation from the franchise. There was an association, but a severe deviation.
Mm-hmm.
But the lack of association is what made it not work.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what's with Max Minghell's character? Did he get put in a trap before? Like, something to connect him to the initial run of the
Right.
franchise would have made such a difference here. His crusade he was on, it wasn't a bad one. It was plausible for a Saw movie. It was just the execution and the lack of.
Yeah.
Now
Like I
what,
said,
dude? Now what are you going off to do? Now the movie's over. What you going off to do now?
yeah, like I said, when the movie ended, I felt a real lack of like, okay, like I understand you gave me a little bit of why he's doing what he's doing, but I feel like there could have been more. Like,
Hmm.
why did he pick Jigsaw to copycat? Like, why
Yeah,
didn't he just go kill these people random, like these officers randomly? Why Jigsaw?
yeah,
And maybe that'll be explained. I think this might be getting us a three. I think this is supposed to be a threequel or something like that,
yeah.
and maybe that'll be explained in I guess those movies. But I don't know. I just felt like if this is going to be a threequel, this first installment was not as
Nah.
strong as I think it could have been.
Yeah. And I'm not gonna, here's the other thing I will say. There are a couple of shots in this movie that I do want to give respect to. The fact that he was chained to the thing with the hacksaw and he was like, shit, I'm gonna have to cut my arm off. And I thought about it, then he saw the little hairpin, he was like, oh, okay, click, click, click. I
No,
probably would have cut my arm off first before I saw that. And I would have been like,
I'm
shit.
I give him respect for that, but I'm still angry at that part because you know what? When he went to go cut off his arm, he went to go cut off above the cup. And I was like, why do y'all always
Always
go, oh, I gotta cut off my arm. I'm
cut it
gonna
off at
start
the
over here. I'm
point.
just like, yo, get the cuff down low. Get like, don't like still have a wrist, man. Come
Listen,
on.
here's the other side of that. If Carla Cugino and Gerald's gang can rip her hand through and just
Right.
tear the skin off, like tear it off. Like,
Yeah,
just tear it
man.
off.
And there's other
But
options. Don't immediately go to cutting off half your arm when all you got to do is like,
yeah,
get as close, get
yeah.
close in there. Maybe
But
that's because it's like too much cutting your wrist. Maybe I don't know.
yeah,
I
I
don't
don't
know.
know. Well, I appreciated that scene. I also appreciated the scene where basically Banks, Chris Rock's character, was on the call and he was calling for backup, and everybody was like, yo, let me tell y'all about police officers. Like, I'm gonna get to it, but basically they was like, fuck him, man, he got shot. His daddy came in there, was like, who heard it? I know, so he called 3 times and what, none of y'all here, like, who heard it? Was
Hmm.
you? Boom, boom, boom.
Boom. Yeah.
Which was hella appropriate. But that shit pissed me off when they were like, the first dude got killed by us, and everybody was just acting so stank and asinine. Like, and here's my problem. It's a job, but there's people attached to this shit.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, let's not forget the humanity aspect of what's happened here. These
I
people are people, they have names, and y'all sitting over fighting them. Number one, who's gonna be the lead? Number two, Chris Rock starts talking, and this dude gets on his phone and was like, "Yeah, baby, what's up?" You know, nobody's paying attention. I was like,
My,
"Yo,
I think that was done a lot on purpose
it
because
was."
if it wasn't, I'll be shocked. But
Mm-mm.
I made several comments as I was watching this movie, like these are the dumbest cops in the world.
But
And yeah,
I'm gonna
I
say
get
that. Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
no, I still think they did that on purpose. Like at the
Yeah.
very end scene where they have Samuel L. Jackson hanging up in the air and it looks like he has a gun in his hand and they just bust in and start shooting. Dude is lifted up in the air.
A marionette, basically. Y'all don't
Yeah.
see this
Y'all
man.
didn't even stop to pause to be like, why is he up in the air?
Yeah.
At least, like there was a lot of decisions made throughout this movie,
Yeah.
and again, I think they were trying to do this on purpose, but there was a lot of decisions made throughout this movie. I was like, these are the dumbest cops in the world.
Right.
If
And
you're if you need to get back to the precinct, call the precinct phone number or call somebody else's cell phone at the precinct. Like,
right. Like, and that's what I'm saying. Like the part where basically he just uses another cop as a diversion. And I'm like, y'all
mhm.
are dumb. But I wanted to point that scene out to say, not because it was absolutely done on purpose. The friends that I do have that are police officers, one of their complaints is that, which we see in the media, some of these people who are cops should not be cops because they're not taking the oath and the responsibility of what they're really here supposed to be doing serious. Like they'll
Yeah,
jam somebody up for stealing a bag of chips, and make a big thing about it, but then something more serious happens and they're just kind of like, psh,
yeah.
you know.
And it could be more of like when you take that oath to protect and serve, it sometimes becomes more of make sure you protect yourself first,
Right.
though. And that's what I think a lot of what they were trying to highlight in this movie, where it was like, it's to the point where they're no longer protecting and serving the community that they promised that they would. It's all
Mm-hmm.
about them. What could they get? How could they get over on people? How could they get more money than how could so again, I appreciate that some of the things that they were trying to highlight in this
Yeah.
movie, but they've just made it really, I don't know, I guess it was just way too obvious because
Yeah.
I literally wrote down on this piece of paper like these are the dumbest cops ever.
Yeah.
Like I wish it would have been, I just wish it would have been done a little more subtly instead
Yeah.
of just so obvious.
And y'all can't tell me this new dude come into the apartment. We watching this movie and we figured out it's him. Ain't none of y'all
Yeah.
suspect him at all.
Aw.
He's the first one.
Why are
Soon
you
as you
putting the
figured out the
picture of your
pattern.
why are you putting the picture of your family in my car?
Yeah.
Like this ain't a cruiser. Even if it was a cruiser, why are you putting it in my that's not something that's just going to stay up there forever and ever. Take that shit
Yeah.
with you.
And then the little
You got a
reveal
nice
that
family, but take it with you.
it ain't
I'm
even real.
sorry.
But then the reveal that he was actually in the building, in the room when the cop shot his daddy, the witness, and was trying to say he pulled a gun on me. And Chris Ross was like, shh. I feel eventually I feel like that cop would have found out that kid was in that apartment. I
In
like
there.
it was just stuff. But anyway, let's jump
Was
to
there
him.
not a police report done? Was it
Right.
did no other cops show up
So
and search the apartment? Like,
I say that to say, you guys, and we'll get to the MVPs and the Blerd meter. There was just things about this movie. I was super excited about it, but there was things about this movie that just could not capture me. Like I
mhm.
was not in for it. So
Yeah. Yeah.
MVP, I have a feeling I already know who our MVP is, but I'm gonna switch mine so you can take this one. So,
Yeah, everybody already knows my MVP is Samuel motherfucking L. Jackson.
yeah, yeah. So he's the MVP. I'm also gonna give another MVP actually to this police lady who was like in every scene. When she would get the package, she'd be like, and when they went down and got the captain, and she got down there, she was like, honey was earning her check. I'm gonna give you your props. You're gonna be my MVP for this because I know who you are. I know your face and your red hair, and if I see you again, I'm gonna be able to pick you out. So I'm gonna give you MVP. Of course, Sam L. Jackson, but Blerdometer.
I'm actually going to give this a 5. Um,
Yeah.
it had the traps, it had the some of the suspense. I mean, it's a Saw movie.
Hmm.
It had some of the, prerequisites for a Saw movie. So thank you for putting that in. I just feel
Yeah.
like it could have been better.
Yeah, I'm gonna give it a 5. And it's funny because we all every so often we have different, but for the most part, we're on the same page. I'm giving
Hmm.
it a 5. Is it a horrible trash movie? No.
No.
It's not. Is it the best movie? No. Is it the best in the series? Absolutely not. If I compare this one to the last one, Jigsaw was way better than this one. You know, I this is one of those things. If you guys have been watching us for a long, I have a bad habit. I need to probably make a a shirt for it, saying this would have been better suited as a TV series on Showtime. Each season, you set up a new accomplice or whatever,
Yeah.
but make it relate to the original universe, please,
Yeah.
please, please, please.
And how y'all make Chris Rock look older in a flashback scene than he's supposed to be? I'm sorry, I forgot about that. In the flashback scene, they made Chris Rock look older
uh,
than he was in the update up like today's. Yeah, I'm
yeah.
sorry. It was
Anyway. Anyway, for discussion purposes, like I'm glad I didn't see this in a movie theater. I just am.
yeah,
But yeah, y'all know how I am. This would have been better suited. This could have been like like you know how they do True Detective?
yeah,
This could have been like that on some streaming platform, and I would have liked it
yeah.
better. There probably would have been more time to develop what they were trying to do here.
Yeah, yeah. Season
So
1 and 3 of True Detective, because that too is just ooh,
I haven't finished that one. I don't know because
it's a
I
little.
I literally looked up. I was, what the fuck am I watching? Like, I don't get it. Like, did I miss
I got
something?
it. I watched it. It's just not as good as seasons 1 and 3, but
Well, season
whatever.
one was the bomb. Season three was the bomb.com. Season two, I didn't finish that one. I was just kind of like, Rachel McAdams. I don't care. Curious as to y'all's thoughts. Did y'all go see Spiral from the Book of Saw, or did you get a chance to check it out? Drop down in the comments. Let us know what was your standout moment. Let us know what was your low moment. Until next
Low,
time,
low, 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 low. Sorry.
we're your hosts of Killer Cam.
Yeah, Monique.
We'll see you in the next episode of Blerd Up Reviews.
Thanks, guys.